Hello good people of YouTube. If you found this video, you might be stuck in your installation and you're looking for some help. We're here to do just that. This video is going to cover the complete installation of the 52-inch Hexton Ceiling fan by Home Decorators collection. This fan is an awesome looking fan. It's got alternating fan blade sizes, however you want to say that. It's got 3 short ones, 3 long ones. It looks like it exploded. It's crazy looking, but it's an awesome fan. This ceiling fan is a dual mount fan, meaning that it can be hung on a standard flat ceiling with the included downrod or on a taller or angled ceiling with an extension downrod. The ceiling fan includes a 17.5 watt LED module light kit, which is roughly equivalent to 120 watts of incandescent light. Ceiling fan also features a shadow resistant plastic shade, slide-on mounting bracket for easy installation, and a remote control with a remote receiver that has an easy plug wire harness to make installation simpler. Now before we get started, of course you want to make sure that the electric is turned off at the breaker box and at the wall switch. We don't want anybody getting hurt. If you don't feel comfortable working around electricity, just consult with a licensed electrician. This is an easy project, but you have to be comfortable working around electricity. Also, if you're replacing a light fixture in your ceiling with this fan, you're going to want to make sure that the outlet box is clearly marked acceptable for fan support. A lot of outlet boxes for light kits aren't, so you just want to make sure, and that way we know the fan's going to stay on your ceiling. So before we get started, we've already unpacked the fan. Just want to look in the manual, make sure that we have all the parts. That way we don't get stuck along the way. Speaking of getting stuck along the way, if you want to fast forward, you can use the links below, and that'll take you to each individual step in the process, and that way you don't have to listen to this whole video. Also, if you find this video helpful, at the end, please click like and subscribe, and that'll help other people find it as well. Okay, so back to the parts. First up, you have the fan motor. You have the mounting bracket. The mounting bracket comes pre-assembled inside the canopy. There's a decorative ring on the bottom. We'll show you how to disassemble that to get started. You have the light kit pan, ball and downrod assembly, decorative motor collar cover, the LED light kit, shadow resistant shade. You have 3 short blades and 3 long blades. So the blades are reversible. You have mid-century walnut on one side and bleached elm on the other. Just choose which finish you want, or you can get crazy and mix them all up and have a really crazy looking fan. We have a remote and receiver. We also include the batteries for your convenience. The receiver wires up to the fan super easy. It's just easy plug and play. You also have this wire extension. If you're going to hang this fan on an angled ceiling or a higher ceiling, you need an extension downrod. Just plug these into the wires from your fan and it'll extend the wiring for the downrod. You're also going to have the hardware pack with blade attachment screws and plastic wire nuts. So that's everything. We got all the parts. Now we'll just talk about tools for a second. We like to use a line tester to make sure the lines aren't live before beginning. You may need some wire cutters and strippers. You'll need a small Phillips screwdriver and a standard Phillips screwdriver. If you don't have a small one, not the end of the world. Flathead screwdriver. We like to use some electrical tape to seal off the wire nuts and electrical connections. And of course you're going to need a ladder. So we have everything here. We're good to go. We can start. The mounting bracket comes pre-installed inside the canopy with the decorative ring on the bottom. To remove the mounting bracket, you'll first need to remove the decorative ring by twisting it counterclockwise to expose the screws at the bottom of the canopy. Then, using a Phillips head screwdriver, loosen but do not remove those 2 screws. Once those 2 screws are loosened, twist the mounting bracket to disengage the keyhole slots and remove the mounting bracket from the canopy. Important to note the alignment post that goes into the hole at the bottom of the canopy. When removing the mounting bracket, you'll need to loosen the screws enough to allow that post to come out of the hole before twisting the mounting bracket to remove it. When attaching the canopy later on, you'll need to make sure that that post comes through the hole before tightening the screws. This fan features a slide-on mounting bracket for easy installation. The slide-on mounting bracket has 2 slots at the top of the mounting bracket. Those 2 slots will align with the 2 screws in the outlet box. To install the bracket, you'll loosen the screws and then align the slots of the mounting bracket with those 2 screws and then slide the mounting bracket into place before tightening the 2 screws. This is just a close-up demonstration of how the slide-on mounting bracket works. To install the slide-on mounting bracket, First, use a Phillips head screwdriver to loosen but not remove the two screws in the outlet box. Next, take the mounting bracket and align the slots of the mounting bracket with the screws in the outlet box and slide into place. Then use a Phillips head screwdriver to completely tighten both outlet box screws. Make sure both screws are completely tightened and make sure that the mounting bracket is securely fastened to the outlet box. This fan is shipped with 2 cardboard motor stops to prevent the motor from moving during shipment. Simply pull the motor stops out and discard before proceeding with the installation. Before routing the wires and attaching the downrod, you'll need to loosen but not remove the set screw on the top of the motor collar. Use a flathead screwdriver to loosen but not remove this screw. This fan features a safety tab on the motor collar that will lock the downrod in place should it ever loosen during use. If you ever need to remove the downrod, pull this tab before unscrewing the downrod. Before routing the wires, take the ball and downrod assembly and gently pull the green cable from inside the ball and downrod. Then, feed the downrod through the canopy so that the largest opening is on the ball side and the smallest opening is on the threaded side. Next, take the decorative ring and slide that onto the downrod. Make sure the black side is touching the canopy. Next, place the motor collar cover onto the downrod by inserting the downrod into the smallest hole so that the opening is towards the threaded end. Once those pieces are together, feed the plug end of the wires from the fan through the end of the downrod so that the plug exits the ball side. Gently pull those wires through until the downrod meets the motor collar at the top of the fan. Secure the downrod by screwing it into the motor collar. Once the downrod is completely screwed in, use a flathead screwdriver to completely tighten the set screw on the motor collar. Once the set screw is tightened, slide the motor collar cover down till it meets the fan. Now the fan is ready to be hung. Before hanging the fan, it's important to note the tab in the mounting bracket that will align with the slot of the ball and downrod assembly. When hanging the fan, you'll insert the ball into the mounting bracket and then rotate until you feel the tab engage the slot on the ball. The fan will drop slightly once the ball is properly seated on the tab. This is just a close-up demonstration. To hang the fan, lift the entire assembly up to the mounting bracket and insert the ball into the mounting bracket. Note the location of the slot on the ball and the tab in the mounting bracket. Insert the ball, let it sit in the mounting bracket, and then rotate the entire assembly until you feel the tab engage the slot on the ball. The fan will drop slightly when properly seated. Before installing the receiver and wiring the fan, it's a good idea to change the dip switch settings if you have more than one remote control fan in the house. The dip switches are located in the battery compartment of the handheld remote and underneath a rubber plug on the receiver. Using a small tool, you can change the dip switch settings to any combination of up or down, as long as the dip switches in the receiver match the dip switches in the remote control. Once the dip switches are set in the receiver, set the dip switches in the remote control to the same settings. If the dip switch settings in the remote and the receiver do not match, the remote will not communicate with the receiver. Once the dip switches are set, install the batteries that were included with the fan into the battery compartment of the remote control according to the diagrams in the battery compartment. It's also important to note that this fan has a dimmable light kit, but the dimming function can be disabled by placing the switch in the O position. For dimming features, make sure the switch is in the D position. This is the factory default. With the batteries installed and the dip switches set, replace the battery cover on the remote control. Before installing the receiver, make sure the flat side is facing the ceiling. You'll also notice that there are 2 wires coming off one side of the receiver that will go with the house wires. The other side of the receiver has the wire harness that will connect to the fan wires. Pull those wires to one side so that the fan plug wires are on one side and the house wires are on the other. Then slide the receiver into the mounting bracket so that it rests on top of the ball and downrod assembly. Begin wiring the fan by taking the wire plug from the fan and inserting that into the wire plug from the remote receiver. The plugs will snap together when properly connected. Then gently tuck those wires away. Next, take the green wire from the mounting bracket and the green wire from the ball and downrod and twist those two wires together. Once those two wires are twisted together, twist those together with the bare copper house wire. This is the ground connection. Finish the connection using an included plastic wire nut and a piece of electrical tape. Once that's done, gently tuck the wires out of the way to make the other wire connections. Next, take the white wire from the receiver and twist that wire together with the white wire from the house supply lines. Once those two wires are connected, finish the connection using an included plastic wire nut and a piece of electrical tape. Then gently tuck those wires out of the way. Finish the wiring by taking the red wire from the receiver and twisting that together with the black or hot wire from the house supply lines. And finish the connection using an included plastic wire nut and a piece of electrical tape. Once all the wire connections have been made, gently tuck them up into the mounting bracket and outlet box to make room for the canopy to attach. The canopy attaches to the mounting bracket using two keyhole slots that will align with the two screws on the base of the mounting bracket. To attach the canopy, align the keyhole slots of the canopy with the screws in the mounting bracket and then lift the canopy up and twist to engage those keyhole slots. Then use a Phillips head screwdriver to completely tighten those two screws. If you don't have a small enough Phillips head screwdriver, you can tilt the entire assembly to make room for the screwdriver to reach the screws. The canopy ring will attach to the canopy using two slots in the canopy ring that will align with the two screws at the base of the canopy. To attach the canopy ring, align the slots with the screws and slide the canopy ring up to the canopy and then twist to engage those slots on the screws and lock it in place. Begin attaching the blades by doing the large blades first. The blades are reversible, so choose the finish that you'd like facing the floor, and insert the blade into the slot on the side of the motor. There are two different size slots to accommodate the large blades and the small blades. You'll start by attaching the three large blades, and then repeat the process for the three small blades. The blades attach to the fan using three screw holes in the end of the blade that align with the three screw holes on the base of the motor. Insert the blade into the large slot and align those three holes, and then use blade attachment screws to secure the blade. Using a Phillips head screwdriver and a blade attachment screw, insert the screw into the first hole of the blade. Do not completely tighten the screw at this point, as you'll need a little bit of play to align the two other screw holes. Use another blade attachment screw and insert that screw into the second hole of the fan blade until the screw is started. Remember, do not completely tighten yet. Insert the third screw into the third screw hole of the fan blade and completely tighten this screw. Then tighten the two other screws. Repeat this process for the two remaining large blades. Make sure all three screws are completely tightened on all three of the large blades. Now you'll repeat the blade attachment process with the smaller blades, sliding the fan blades into the smaller slots on the side of the motor, and then securing the blades using three blade attachment screws like you did with the large blades. Once all 6 blades are installed, it's a good idea to double check to make sure that all the screws are completely tight. Before attaching the light kit pan, remove the rubber band holding the wires together at the bottom of the motor. The light kit pan attaches to the fan using 2 keyhole slots and a standard screw that will align with the 3 screws in the black bracket at the base of the motor. Begin by first removing and saving one of the 3 screws using a Phillips head screwdriver. Then loosen, but do not remove, the 2 remaining screws in the black bracket. Next, you'll feed the wires through the center hole of the light kit pan and align the 2 keyhole slots of the light kit pan with the 2 screws in the black bracket that were loosened. Align those slots and then push up and twist to engage the screws and hold the light kit pan in place. Next, insert the screw that was removed and saved into the standard screw hole of the light kit pan and use a Phillips head screwdriver to completely tighten that screw. Then completely tighten the 2 remaining screws in the keyhole slots. Make sure all 3 screws are completely tightened. The LED module connects to the light kit pan using 2 keyhole slots and 1 standard screw hole. These will align with the 3 screws on the outer edge of the light kit pan. Begin by first removing and saving one of the 3 screws, and then loosen but do not remove the 2 remaining screws. Next, insert the wire plug from the LED module into the wire plug from the fan. The plugs will snap together when properly connected. Lift the LED module up and gently tuck the wires in and align the 2 keyhole slots with the 2 screws that were loosened in the light kit pan. Then gently push up and twist the LED module to engage the keyhole slots on the 2 screws. Next, insert the screw that was removed and saved into the standard screw hole of the LED module and use a Phillips head screwdriver to completely tighten this screw. Then tighten the 2 remaining screws. Make sure all 3 screws are completely tight. The light shade uses a twist lock system to connect to the fan. There are 3 flat sides on the light shade that will align with the 3 nubs inside the light kit pan. Align the flat sides of the light shade with the 3 nubs in the light kit pan, then press the light shade up and twist clockwise until tight. This fan also features a full function remote control. To turn the fan and light off at the same time, press the power button. The fan has a memory, so next time the fan is turned on using the power button, it will return to its last settings. For example, if the fan is on medium speed with the light on when the fan is turned off, the next time it is turned on, it will return with medium speed and the light on. The fan speed button will cycle through the fan's 3 speeds. Press once for high speed, twice for medium speed, 3 times for low speed, and another time to turn it off. Press the remote light button to turn the light on. Press it again to turn it off. Press and hold to cycle through the dimming. Release the button once the desired brightness is achieved. The comfort breeze setting randomly alternates the fan's 3 speeds to create an organic wind effect. Press the button to start the comfort breeze mode. Press the button again to disable the feature. The fan timer button will automatically turn the fan off at a desired setting. Press once to turn the fan off in 2 hours, twice for 4 hours, and 3 times for 8 hours. Press one more time to disable the timer. This fan features a 3-speed reversible motor. The reverse switch is located on top of the motor housing underneath the motor collar cover. The factory default setting is switch left to create a downward airflow for use during the warmer months. During the cooler months, you may want to reverse the airflow to pull warm air from the ceiling and push it down into the room. Access the reverse switch and change the reverse switch position to reverse the airflow of the fan. Make sure the fan is not running before attempting to reverse the switch. That's it. Ceiling fan installation is now complete. Time to grab a nice tall beverage and enjoy your new ceiling fan. As always, thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful, please click like and subscribe down below. That'll help other people find it as well. And as we always say around here, keep it breezy.